Battle Report with Ben and Steve. You know what I love, Steve?
What?
I love individually bagged cubes.
So this is a game with an environmentalist kind of
theme.
resonance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Galapagos Islands and all of that.
Yeah. So the cubes, I mean, it's not just the individual bagging of the cubes, but each player gets their own set of player-colored pieces, components, right? Meeples, cubes, tents in this game.
And they're all in different bags, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah. They're all like, what's the opposite of collated?
Like separated?
Yeah, so like...
Sorted.
Yeah, I guess. Like they're sorted by type, not by color.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes no fucking sense, does it?
No, it must have something to do with the manufacturing.
Do you know what
process.
my favorite Roman emperor was?
Let me think. Favorite Roman emperor. It's going to be a pun, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's
action-based.
Action-based?
So
Caligula.
No, that's shagging.
Yeah.
No, I like the Roman emperor that sort of saw shit was going on and like rather than fix it, thought he'd fucking make some music.
Nero.
Yeah, I love it. I love how everyone in the world currently is just fucking playing their violin loads while fucking Rome's on fire.
Do you think Nero really had a violin? I mean, I don't think the violin had been invented.
Well, I think he had, it's more like a lute, I think.
I mean, I don't think it even happened, actually. Nero,
what the fuck's wrong with you?
Nero gets a bad rap. Revisionist history.
Do you know what? I don't think it happened. Do you know why?
Why?
Because all the cool things that you hear in history never fucking happen. They're all anachronisms. Yeah. You know what history is?
What, Ben? What is history?
Fucking boring. You know why? You know why we should forget history and not take lessons from it?
So I was
do you want to take lessons from the most boring school teacher?
I was in Rome last year.
Yeah.
And I wanted to visit the Domus. Domus Aurea.
How did you get around?
The Golden House of Nero.
How did you get around?
But it was closed, Ben. I couldn't go to it. I was really disappointed.
How did you get around?
Apparently there are some really nice frescoes that you can still see inside of it.
Nice. How did you get around the city?
I walked.
Yeah, did you?
Yep. I took the subway a couple times.
Did you sort of amble?
I sauntered.
Did you,
I wandered.
Did you have any arrabbiata?
Yes, I did once.
Did you?
Not my favorite thing.
Was it not good?
I mean, it's not my favorite. It's okay.
What's your favorite?
I don't know. Honestly, probably. So if you go to Italy, you don't eat the kind of food I ate growing up.
Okay.
Like Italian-American style food.
Yeah.
It's all like, it's a bit more like specialized. So I don't know. Cacio e pepe is pretty good.
Okay, great.
Among the red sauce dishes, I think just like a bolognese.
It's great. It's like, could we turn this into the most middle class podcast that's ever existed?
I am fucking working hard at it.
Talking about your holidays in Rome and the kind of authentic Italian dishes that we eat.
I'm working really hard to make this happen. So we're 2 or 3 years into this project.
What are we playing, Steve?
I'm appropriately enjoying some tea.
Yeah.
The beverage of the nation from which namesake for this game derives.
That's right.
We were playing Darwin's Journey, Ben.
Yeah.
The deluxe collector's edition.
Of course it is.
I think it's the only one you could get.
Yeah, it's utterly pointless.
DJ.
We're going to start a new show next month.
We are?
And I think this might be the opening topic of the new show.
What's our new show? You haven't told me about this.
So...
Why do you announce these things?
Why not?
Live on the air.
It's like the Guild.
Yeah.
Except rather than having the sort of set dressing.
Yep. Which is what, background music?
Yeah. So it's not going to be
like weird sound effects.
It's not going to be BGG Guild based.
Yeah.
It's going to be
is that
Discord.
Why you called it the Guild?
Yeah, because it was the Guild on BGG, you see.
Right, I see.
It's going to be Discord based. I haven't come up with a title for the show yet, but we're going to have a special channel on the Discord, and then we're going to have a topic that the people weigh in on, and then we talk about it, and we also talk about the people's image, and then we discuss whether we think those sheeple are right as well.
Discotheque?
I mean, that means I've got to put disco music in the background, isn't it?
So the whole time you were talking just now, describing the premise of the show.
Yeah, you were thinking about what you were going to say.
Yep.
Yeah. You're a listener. So for the listeners, we didn't do a battle report on Thursday night, but we played Phantom Inc.
That was good.
It's surprisingly good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a game that has like 3 rules. And I explained how to play the game. I mean, wrong as it turned out, but still.
Yep. I mean, this is why I don't listen. It doesn't actually matter.
And Steve completely didn't listen to any of the explanation. Fortunately, he's learned Darwin's journey himself today. Did you listen to yourself when you were reading the rules?
Like the voice in my head?
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice was saying, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I keep buying these overly complicated games with a million components that take an hour to set up, an hour to teach? But, I hear good things about it.
Maybe it was a bloody journey to get this game set up, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it wasn't ready when you arrived. I normally like to present a...
You do? You usually... I mean, to be fair, you're usually pretty good at that.
Yeah, today I couldn't do it.
What were you doing this morning?
Well, it's spring.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look outside. Gorgeous.
If I can date this episode. And this time of year, you know me, I like to get all of my my plant care in order.
Okay.
So I needed to go down. And it's a 3-day weekend in Berlin as well. So basically, whenever we make plans for Saturday, I realize at the last minute, shit, this is the only day I can do anything in Berlin.
Yeah.
And now it's like the only day I can do anything for the next 3 days because everything will be closed the next 2.
Exactly.
So I had to go to the hardware store.
Top chat.
I had to get some soil.
Yeah.
I didn't end up using the soil, but now
really
I have spare soil in case I need it later. Though I got more pots.
I love the banter.
Tupfer, they call them in German.
Yeah, that's great. Yep. That's a detail that was necessary. Carry on.
I got a few new plants and I repotted some plants. I recently
this is great.
got.
Top plant chat.
Yeah. So a guy that used to water the plants at my office. I became friends with him.
Did you? Great.
He actually sells me
plants.
What's
his name?
Stefan, actually.
Okay.
He sells me plants at a discount out of his apartment in the neighborhood.
Oh, so you like black market plant buying?
Yes, absolutely.
So if we can tie this back in.
Well, the thing is, Darwin, on his journey to the Galapagos Islands, discovered many strange and unusual
plant husbandry. Plant husbandry is like a.
Can you husband plants?
I don't know what you call it. Horticulture is like a
botany,
a currently happening proof of evolution, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, you get this plant and this plant to shag each other, and then you get the different plant.
Yeah.
So you look at the monkey plant, the cat plant, and they shag each other, and you get a kunky plant.
Yeah, I can see the British education system is really working.
I really understand evolution.
Yeah. I mean, you just explained it.
What's your favorite?
Because like that. So making a hybrid of 2 different plants is a form of evolution.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get like a fish plant and a bird plant.
Yes.
And then you have them shag with each other. Right. Then you get a third plant.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
not a third plant, although it is a third plant.
Yeah.
But it's a third plant because it's a fish and bird plant.
It makes sense. And I'm glad that you're here to like fight the good fight against all the pseudoscience in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Evolution's real. I've seen it happen. Like those black butterflies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were white and then they went black and then they're white again.
Yeah.
That's fucking evolution, that.
Which podcast did you hear about them on?
Oh, I can't remember some podcasts. I mean, I don't read books, Steve. Books are so last century.
It's a Piranesi you read recently.
I did finish Piranesi recently.
Yeah, yes. and you offer a plug for that, right?
Oh, it was very good. It's very good. I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, I hope in the next 5 years I get to read it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 3 pages as well, so...
Yeah, I can do like 1/2 of a page a week, maybe.
Right. Yeah, so what are you thinking? So... I got the sense...
I'm stalling so that we don't have to start this game.
I got the sense while you were reading the rules and setting the game up that you were sort of progressively getting more annoyed by it as a concept.
Well, I'm not annoyed. It's just kind of this Saturday feeling where I kind of just want to jump into something, and I hope it's not a tedious slog getting into this game.
So I looked at the...
It's got some nice components, though, with the metal coins and everything.
I looked at the video, and actually the game quite appealed to me. It seems solid mid-weight. It doesn't seem... Although it is...
So it's like a banana.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely Silver Age.
What are the core concepts?
So you place workers to... increase their education levels so that you're then able to increase their abilities.
I just hope it's not going to be a grind.
I don't get the joke.
It's not going to be a grind.
Good rind. Is that a banana
like peel
joke?
Core, rind.
Yeah.
I know these jokes are the pits.
That's right. You're seeding a desire in me to fucking murder you. Yeah. So it looks like a worker placement game. It just looks like every fucking game that is on Kickstarter. It's pretty. It is a worker placement game on steroids, right?
Yeah. I mean, I actually quite like these little
rubber seals.
Yeah, it's little wax sealy things. The map is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like the islands that you visit and the whatever this is, the ocean track. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. I mean, actually, watching the video, I thought it looked...
This is what people come here to hear. Like, they come to this podcast to hear me say, it'll be fine. What happened to me? Like, where's the passion?
Where's the bite?
Yeah, the enthusiasm.
So I'm going to Reno Con this year, as you know.
Yeah.
And they sent me the panel I'm hosting.
That's your well-advised 9-day trip to the west coast of the United States.
That's right, yeah.
From Berlin.
That's right. So they sent me the panel I'm hosting.
You're hosting a panel?
I'm hosting a panel.
Who's on the panel?
I guess Johnny Pack will be there. Henry Audubon will be there. Maybe Corey Thompson will be there.
Henry Audubon?
Yeah.
Is he like related to the Audubon?
Member of Kraftwerk, yeah.
What?
Member of Kraftwerk, yeah.
The band?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Their famous song was called Autobahn, wasn't it, Belland?
I can't tell if you're making a joke or something is
just you would tell if you had any bloody knowledge whatsoever about 70s krautrock, wouldn't you?
No, I don't. I've heard of Autobahn. I know Autobahn, okay?
You clearly don't. Anyway, and the topic of the panel is the golden age of gaming over?
Where does this golden age gaming concept come from?
Well, it sort of started around 2015, I think, where people were saying that this is the golden age of gaming. Everything that comes out is brilliant. It's completely innovative. And we're in a true sort of, not just renaissance, but a true acme of the ludological arts.
A zenith, if you will.
Indeed.
At the pinnacle.
The fucking whatever, the epitome.
Yeah. So do you think it's over? Or do we have to go...
I think it's been over for fucking years.
We don't have to go to Reno to find out your opinion.
No, but I'm hosting the panel, so I'm not going to be venturing my opinion. I'm just going to be subtly, with my questions, getting people to agree with me.
Okay, so what makes you think that it's over?
Well, I think the central thing
Money.
is... Well, I think... it's interesting because watching you set this up made me think that the Kickstarterification of games.
Money ruins everything.
Means that you have to have these big bloated productions. But I think the central thing that really indicates it is it feels like innovation is over and self-reverence is the main sort of thrust. So it's not, you don't have this really great, interesting game. You have this worker placement game that the way you make the worker placement thing more interesting is to add more complication rather than sort of innovation. I don't know if this is the case with this, but it feels very Silver Age. I mean, you look at the board, it's very cluttered. There's lots of different shit to do.
It's going to be worker placement over here and then some like Maracaibo thing down here. Yeah. And I don't know, like... with the deal with the animals.
And it's sort of set collection. And it's just, let's all throw something in a bag.
A bunch of tracks that you have to travel
and then see what happens. But I mean, as I say, I watched the video and it looks quite appealing.
So I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
But, games are still coming out that we regard. I mean, every year more games come out than came out in the previous year.
That's right. That's also a sign of, I think, bloat, self-reverence. There are only so many ideas, yet people feel the need.
But there are still great games coming out.
No question. But I think also
is it just that the preponderance of them aren't great?
Well, I mean, I think that's the same with any art form. It's just, I think what's driving artistic innovation... No, I think artistic innovation is being compromised because of a mode of sales that is propelling the artistic decisions in games now. Mm-hmm. So it's not enough to have a game. You've got to have fucking 20 expansions with the game when the game is released. Surely that's going to dilute the central core idea of the game.
I mean, maybe this trend will eventually jump the shark. Obviously, there was a kind of classical era to games, and now we're in the Baroque period.
Yeah. So the question is,
some of these games are positively Rococo.
Do you consider the Baroque to be a betrayal of the central core, or do you think it's something that is an addition, a flourish? It makes it more interesting and more varied. I mean, it's
I don't mind that it exists. I mean, it does exist side by side with there are Golden Age style games that continue to come out, and they exist side by side with these like Silver Age games, as you call them. And I think it's fine.
Name a Golden Age game that you've played recently, though.
Reef Encounter, or that it didn't come out recently.
Well, Reef Encounter is slap bang in the middle
played
of people
recently.
say
That it's come out recently. Kalimala seemed pretty golden age to me. You don't think?
No. I think it's overly complex and a bit dull.
You're overly complex and a bit dull.
There's absolutely no question. But what else? So I would say...
I'd have to go look at my shelf right now.
Horseless Carriage, maybe.
As a golden age game?
So I think Splotter stand outside of categorization to some degree, but I think if you look at I would posit that a golden age ethos is minimum rule sets, maximum depth, and I think Splotter's design ethos really latches onto that. Right?
And this is my only issue. This is a major issue with these types of games. They take a long time to unpack, set up, learn, and then as soon as you've played them once, you forget how to play them immediately.
Well, they seem disposable, and that's and we often talk about mechanical aspects to games, but maybe a sign of the Silver Age is just the laboriousness to actually get the fucking thing on the table, right?
Yeah, and I know I'll probably enjoy this game, but I'm going to be referring to the rule book, which is open beside me, over and over. And then once we've played this one, I'm never going to want to teach this to anybody again.
Well, actually, I think, to be fair, having watched the video on this, it feels to me actually a lot simpler than it looks. And I think it's a game that's quite instinctive if you've played a lot of worker placement games. But it is true, I think, when a game takes... when a game takes 45 minutes to set up, no matter how fucking good it is, that's a challenge, no?
It's got like this table inertia,
right,
getting to the table inertia.
Exactly.
Because you go to your shelf of games and you look around, you're just like, And
part of the reason you always end up leaning towards those classic stripped back midweight Euros is because they take 5 minutes to set up, 5 minutes to teach, and then you get an amazing play experience. Ispahan we played recently, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
look at Ispahan, right? It takes 5 minutes to set up, 5 minutes to explain, and you get to the end of it and you've played a proper game.
And nobody would buy it today.
No, and it's not as heavy as this, and it's not as pretty as this, but I mean, for me, they are the kind of games that really hit my sweet spot. And there's nothing I like more than having my sweet spot hit.
I just don't think people are buying these games because they're good. They're just buying them because there's like a bunch of shit in the box.
Well, it's the classic thing, right? It's the classic thing of the doorbell ringing, getting a parcel and thinking, oh, what game was this I backed on Kickstarter?
These games...
That's got to be wrong, isn't it? You should be really... The thing is, people are more excited about hitting the pledge button on Kickstarter than they are about playing the bloody games.
No,
that's wrong, no?
They exist to be unboxed.
Right.
Even now when I get the package and I open it, why did I back this? The hell was I thinking? But
so maybe we're completely on the
yeah, well, we're like cynical.
Maybe we're outliers on this, but I don't think we are. I think you see it. You see people talk about it all the time. They get the game and they don't feel the need. And do you know what really pisses me off?
What doesn't?
About the Americanization
what
of
doesn't?
all fucking discourse.
Yeah, what doesn't?
The change from shelf of shame to shelf of opportunity. Fuck you. If you've got a load of fucking games still in their shrink wrap on the shelf that you haven't used, you should be fucking ashamed. You are gobbling up fucking resources to the detriment of people in Vanuatu just because you can't fucking control yourself when you go on the internet. You should be fucking ashamed.
Oh, I like that. Shelf of opportunity. I'm going to start using that.
You can listen to the rest of this show and hundreds of hours of bonus content, including convention reports, in-game bickering, and loads more at patreon.com/5G4D.